Here, how to get enough micronutrition. What are the best foods in micronutrients? Did you know a ripe banana has more nutrition, much more nutrition than one that's just perfectly yellow? Here in Australia anyway, and in the US, some in Thailand, some varieties don't go yellow, some don't go spotty, they just go yellow and then turn to mush. But this is not even fully ripe yet. But most people go, oh, that's disgusting. But if we crack it open, it opens very easily, and you can see here it's perfect inside. Look at that, it's absolutely perfect. It's not mushy, it's not translucent or whatever. If it tastes good, it's good. But most people never have a ripe banana. They think a banana is, really a starchy and astringent. But again, logistically, it's hard to get bananas with this micronutrition. This is organic, volcanic soil banana. That's really good. I have 10, 20, 30 bananas a day, up to 70 bananas a day for many couple of decades now. Big banana fan, big banana boy, pun intended. Micronutrition, this is from the coaching group from durianrider.com. If you want one-on-one coaching, weight loss questions, sustained weight loss, not just about getting cut and then blowing out, rebounding and yo-yo diet and going crazy. Sustained weight loss. If you've got fitness performance questions, you want to do Ironman, what's the best running shoes? What's the best phones for making six-figure incomes on social media? What's the best way to deal with your angry girlfriend or angry boyfriend, or just hacks in life? durianrider.com. Join my coaching group. It's a private Facebook group. It's one little paywall, one-off fee, and then boom, lifetime questions. As many questions as you want on any topic you feel you need help with, except for pianos or fixing violins. I wouldn't have a clue about those things, all right? But maybe someone in the group does. But anyway, if you want nutrition, relationship, weight loss, social media career, boom. For cycling performance, running performance, weight loss, building muscle, natty or not, then that is the group for you. We answer all the questions. So this is a question from the group. This is from Mark. Fantastic question. Question came when reading through your recent posts and comments. You have always said refined sugar, white rice, good fruit is available. If available, is the core of a healthy involvement life. Yes. Question. What do you say when someone asks about micronutrients? Let's assume we can get someone past the typical questions of where do you eat protein? Isn't 10 grams of fat a day too low? Next question is likely going to be refined sugar, white rice is empty calories, has no nutrients. I know billions of people across Asia and Africa live primarily on white rice and refined corn, but having a response to surviving versus thriving question on empty calories would be great. Great question, Mark, and a question I've been asked many times. So let's get into it. The average person will say, oh, so you're a vegan, oh, where do you get your protein from? Okay, but what about micronutrients? And it's just like, these people, everyone becomes a nutrition expert when you say you're a vegan, or you eat 10 grams of fat a day, and that's why you're lean as heck all year long, despite no calorie restriction, or overtraining, or thyroid drugs, or whatever. Everyone becomes a nutrition expert once you question the social narrative or what they believe in. And that's okay. That's okay. Knowing those questions are going to come in makes it easy to prepare and prep for it, and have empathy and compassion, understanding that an objection is just a request for more information. So someone says, where do you eat micronutrients from? I'll say, which micronutrient? And they're like, I like B6. It's like, how much a day do you get? How much B6 did you get today? And they never, ever know how many milligrams of B6 they got that day. All right? But I'm concerned about your micronutrient levels, Harley, or Wendy, or Wayne, or whoever. And it's like, well, I got my B6 from bananas, or fruits and vegetables and grains and whatever. How much B6 did you get today? How much B6 are you going to get tomorrow? How much B6 did you need today to deal with your teenage daughter who's going off the rails because she's weighing herself now and she's following some ED chick on TikTok who says calories in, calories out is the way to go? Okay, Greg Douchet. How much B6 do you need today? Nobody ever can answer that question. Well, the adult needs maybe 15 milligrams, nanograms. What? Like, there's no one in the world who can tell you need exactly X, Y, Z, B6, or iron or whatever every single day, and that's going to guarantee you that peak level for you for your day that day, which can be different in every single day, because maybe you had an argument with someone, or maybe you got a sick kid, or maybe your autistic child crapped on the carpet, or maybe your drunk husband came home and crapped on the carpet because they were so blind they couldn't find the toilet. Like, you're dealing with, you got up working up at 2 a.m. because there was like a high-speed crash in your front yard and the cops were jumping over fences trying to find the perpetrator. You know what I mean? I said, every day is different, people. Every day is different. So there's no one out there. I mean, if you've got an iron deficiency, taking 300 milligrams of ferrous sulfate a day is a ballpark that will probably get you out of an iron deficiency over time. As a general guideline, taking a pill that's pharmaceutical quality and measured, then yeah, that's a ballpark. But maybe you need 200 milligrams a day. Maybe you need 1,300 milligrams a day. But by starting with 300 milligrams, you can go from there, and then re-blood test your ferritin in 3 or 4 months' time and go from there. But no one can say that they got enough micronutrients every day. I mean, people have this conversation all the time. The last 20 years, people go, "I've done a chronometer and I've punched in. I've got 123% of my RDA of calcium today. I've got 347% of my thiamine and all and vitamins." And so I mean, no, you didn't. No, you didn't, because this banana, this banana might have XYZ amount of potassium in it, and then the banana in the box that was grown on the next neighbour's farm and picked a week earlier will have XYZ of potassium in it, and it'll be totally different. Or maybe your aldosterone levels and your renal function and your hormone levels that day means you're only going to extract a certain amount of that potassium, the rest you're going to excrete out. Or maybe you didn't go to bed that well, or maybe you had bananas on top of other foods that don't mix well with bananas, and then your digestion's impaired, you shut it all out, or you had diarrhea or stomach upset, and and then you got dehydrated and you lost potassium, even though you ate heaps of potassium. So it's like, so what do you do? What's the solution? The solution is forgetting about obsessing over micronutrient sufficiency, because no one can prove that they got enough. The tests are inaccurate. They vary all the time. You can test your potassium level. It'll be literally different every minute of the day. If you did 100 potassium level tests, if you did 100 blood tests or microanalysis, it'll be different every minute of the day to a varying degree. 10%, 20%, 80%, 300%, just jumping up or down. Your blood's like the stock market, up and down, up and down. When something consistently stays up, like high blood pressure, you test your blood pressure every day for a week in a relaxed, calm setting with no drugs in your system, and it keeps going up or it just stays high, then yeah, you've got high blood pressure. If you go and test blood pressure, you get the doctors and you're like, I feel really nervous and oh my God, I've been in traffic, and you're hyping up, you had your coffee or your modafinil or whatever you're taking that day, and you're all G'd up and your blood pressure's up and you're like, you think about a work meeting, and then you get your blood pressure tested and it's sky high, it's like 150 over 90, and the doctor's like, well, you need your blood pressure medication. Well, here you go, but then you get your script and you're taking that, and you've got high blood pressure and you're all G'ing up and your digestion's all stressed out and you're going like, but you don't even have high blood pressure. You just got yourself worked up because you're in the doctors and the cat ate your freaking kid's canary and the kid's going to therapy and all this, and your therapist is charging $500 an hour and you're like, you want to strangle the kid. It's, and the cat. But you don't have high blood pressure. But now you're taking this medication because apparently you do have high blood pressure. And that's affecting your digestion. That's going to affect your micronutrient levels. So all these things, they're all intertwined. They're all intertwined. So when someone says, and by now when someone said, where do you get your micronutrients from, they've obviously walked away from the conversation. They're running down the street away from me because they're like, this guy's absolutely crazy, and I'm still talking to the bus stop that they were sitting at. So that's the reality, is nobody on the planet can tell you exactly what micronutrients you ate that day. No one can do that. Nobody can do that. Nobody can do that. Because it varies bite to bite, meal to meal, thing to thing. One, so no one can tell you how much you ate. Two, no one can tell you how much you utilized and digested and stored. No one can do that. Three, no one can tell you how much you actually needed that day. And then four, is there a four? What could be the fourth one be? No one can tell you how much you excreted that day. You know what I mean? So it's like your digestion, your absorption, uptake, transfer, and delivery of micronutrients. So maybe you got enough micronutrients. Let's say there was some wizard scientist out there who served up 2 meals a day. Let's say you're Oprah, you're unlimited money, and you employ some biochemist who's got this special machine that's really calibrated perfectly that day. It's calibrated 10 times a day, so there's no variables out there. And you're measuring everything you're doing. You're making your personal chef's making 2 meals from the same batch of food, and they're measuring 1 batch for the micronutrients. Well, how's it going to be digested in your system? You know what I mean? So it's, you know, like it's and then okay, let's say you absorb 10 milligrams of iron that day from that meal or whatever. How much of that iron gets transferred to the cell or stored in your ferritin? You know what I mean? There's so many variables here. That's why I laugh when people say, "Oh, I got, you know, I punched in the numbers. You know, I watched More Dates, More Plates. He has some good videos, but or Greg Duche or freaking Dr. Greger, who's not even a real doctor in terms of he's never practiced a day of medicine in his life, but he's a doctor because he studies as a doctor and he wears a doctor's uniform and he's a doctor. Then you got Dr. Duche, who's, you know, who would know more about hormones than the average endocrinologist by far, who's not even a doctor, but, you know, who's a fake natty, half-truther. Anyway, you know, so it's like, in my opinion, so you got all these people out there getting this education, which can be good and bad, because all these people have some great things to say, but also some things that don't add up and contradict what they just said last week in the video, or in the last 5 minutes of the video. So you get all these people confused, chasing micronutrient status, when it's just such a silly thing to chase. What I recommend, so what's the solution, durianrider? I recommend go back to nature, and look at, no animal measures its calories, its carbohydrates, its fats, it's like, you know, no animal measures its hormone levels. No animal measures its micronutrients levels of food, because they can't. They just can't, and neither can you. Neither can you. Because, I mean, you can measure your hormones, but again, they vary hour to hour. They vary hour to hour. Even if you're popping exogenous hormones, they're varying up and down, based on the frequency, the potency of the compound, is it fresh, is it out of date, is it fake, is it UGL, how's your body handling it, you know what I mean? Things like that. So all these things vary so much. And we live in a world where people want certainty. People want, they'll pay you, durianrider, tell me exactly what I got to do. Okay, I'm going to tell you exactly what I got to do. You got to listen to your carbohydrate cravings. All right, listen to those cravings. If you want 5 bananas, have 5 bananas. If you want 50 bananas, if you can sit down and eat 50 bananas, you needed 50 bananas. Now, I've never seen anyone do that except for an orangutan in the zoo. But if you need 50 bananas in a sitting, have 50 bananas. When you focus on carbohydrates from whole foods, fruits primarily, plus rices, some quinoa, things that you really enjoy eating, sugar, refined sugar is a nutrient in itself. That's the thing, is people go, oh, sugar's got no nutrients in it. Sugar's a nutrient in and of itself. Sucrose, aka table sugar. I'm going to sound Kiwi then. Table sugar, sucrose, that's a nutrient in itself. So when people say that, you know, white rice is empty calories, no nutrition, it's like, oh my God, the nutrition is the carbohydrate. That's why these Africans out there working in the field can work so much harder than the average Australian or American out there, because these Africans or Asians, you know, just do it as a competition. Take away the monetary needs or whatever. Do it as a competition. These Asians and Africans can work so much harder because their diet is founded on empty calories, where the sole nutrient is carbohydrate, sugar, glucose, and or fructose. You know what I mean? And so these workers have the solid foundation of nutrition pinned not on micronutrients but on carbohydrate, primarily being the glucose, the sucrose from the corn, which contains sucrose, glucose, and fructose, which sucrose is being 50-50 glucose and fructose. You know what I mean? So it's like, so when you focus on carbohydrate sufficiency, you're automatically getting enough nutrition of what matters. And micronutrients, when you're eating enough fruit and veggies as you care for, you'll get, hopefully, sufficient micronutrients. But no one can tell you really if you've got enough, because what about your uptake, transfer, and delivery of micronutrients to your cells? So I would say that we can focus on trying to analyze something that we can't really measure on a daily basis. We can't, no one really can. Even Oprah couldn't do it. And if she could do it, she has to do blood tests on an hourly basis to test how much, I mean, even if you did have all the money in the world, is there someone out there who could actually do that, or is it something worthwhile doing? No, in my opinion, it's not. So I recommend focus your diet, smash in the fruit, have as much fruit as you want, have as much sugar as you want, have as much white rice as you want, and do a bit every day to have a few vegetables for freshness. But at the end of the day, I say vegetables are optional. Fruit's essential. If you want to be your healthiest and feel your best, you just need fruit. I mean, when you're doing fruit, I mean, I've had I'm bananaed out. Like, I mean, if I was really hungry right now, I could smash this banana. I've had so many bananas today. I'm just like, they're self-limiting. You gag when you've had enough sugar and rice and fruit. You're like, done. But what happens is people think carbohydrates are donuts, Krispy Kreme donuts or whatever, and so they're chowing down these donuts and they're thinking, oh, this is bad. Well, the donut is bad, really, because it contains trans fats, because it's fried. It contains whey, which has hormones in it, which is good or bad for most people. And it's got so much fat in it as well, so it just gets stored as fat. And it's got sugar in there, which is good. It's a nutrient, very powerful, important nutrient. But then people blame the sugar for the fat. So if you blame, sugar for fatness that you're getting from the donuts, when most of the calories or some of the calories or a large percent of calories in the donuts is fat, you're an idiot. That's like blaming water for getting... It's like wrestling with pigs, right? You've got some pigs and the pigs say, hey, come and wrestle with us. So you're wrestling with pigs in mud, and then you blame the water for your muddy clothing. So you're walking down the street and McDonald's says, hey, come in here, have some food. McDonald's there, Ben and Jerry's is there, come and have some food, have some food. You're hungry, come in and have some food. And then you do that for a couple of years and you get nervous, you're getting fat, you're getting obese. So you blame the sugar in the food, not the fat in the food. You're blaming the sugar. You're blaming the water for getting your clothes muddy. You don't blame the mud. You don't blame the fat in the food for the fatness you now wear. You're blaming the sugar. You're blaming the water for your muddy clothes. You're blaming the sugar for your fatty body, for your fatty liver. They call it fatty liver, not because it's... why don't they call it sugary liver? Wow, your liver's very sugary. It's fatty liver disease. Fatty liver. Fatty liver. Let me say it again. Fatty liver. By now you're getting annoyed by me, but it's fatty liver. It's not sugary liver. It's fatty liver. Okay? So, which you can get from alcohol, which you can get from anabolic steroids, which you never, ever, ever, ever get from fruits or drinking refined sugar. You never, ever get fatty liver from that. Is it the KFC diet that gives the fatty liver, and the medications that most KFC bucket eaters are on, SSRIs, liver toxic compounds that cause liver damage, or is it that bit of high fructose corn syrup in the Coca-Cola or Sprite or Fanta, which is almost 0 calories now from low carb crap that they're getting? It's like, come on, people. Is it the mud that you got mud on your clothes from messing with piggies in the pig pen, in the mud pit, or was it the water that made your clothes fatty? That fat pit, that fatty cesspit of fried lard and butter and oil and full cream milk, chocolate. The fat you eat is the fat you wear. Is the fat on your body from the fat you've been eating all these years? Or is it from the sugar, which gets metabolized so freaking quickly and dissipated to your 35 trillion cells, or whatever we have in our body? 35 trillion cells, approximately. I haven't counted them all myself today, so I could be wrong. It might be 35 point, zillion cells in the body. So people are just like nutrition experts, but then so dumb when it comes to this logic of where does fat in my body come from? Is 10 grams of fat a day? That's not enough, Drew. I get high blood pressure every time I read one of these comments. You know what I mean? If I die from a heart attack, it's because my blood pressure got spiked so much because I read one of these comments about, isn't 10 grams of fat not enough? I'm obese, but I think 10 grams of fat's not enough a day. I've got so much fat, I could feed 10 grams of fat to every village in Uganda, but I don't think 10 grams of fat a day is going to be enough for me. in Memphis, you know, and I'm on my way to Hardtack Grill, and I stop my SUV at the traffic light because the cyclists came past too close, and they're too skinny, but carbs make you fat. You're only slim because you exercise. I'd exercise one day, but I'm so tired from not enough carbs and eating so much fat, and I just feel fatted out. Gold, man. Most cyclists who train as much as me are quite fat, honestly. Most cyclists who ride as much as me in the West, English riders, Aussie riders, they're fat. I'm not saying they're bad people, I'm just saying physiologically speaking, I'm not this lean because I train so much. Because most runners and cyclists who train as much as me are fat. They just are. They're fat. They got a big love handle. It doesn't make them bad people. This is purely physiological here. We're not body shaming. We're just talking about body fat levels. If you got a lot or got a little, it doesn't make you better or worse. I'm just saying. The topic is the debate, the argument is on reducing body fat, getting enough nutrition, which is for most people, it's reducing body fat. Because we're very vain, we're very narcissistic. That's just how we live in society. We want significance, we want to be trim, tight, taut, svelte, stand out. Fine. Let's just be real with what people are doing it for. People aren't eating a whole foods diet because it's healthy. They want to be lean, they want to be slim, they don't want to look like Jabba the Gut. You know what I mean? If a whole foods diet gave you a Jabba the Hutt effect, who would do it? Well, it's healthy though, let me do... No. Most whole foods people have a raging eating disorder that they hide behind, well, I'm doing whole foods, I'm really healthy. I know whole foods, I don't do refined sugar because they think refined sugar makes them fat. So they skip it out and they say, well, no, refined sugar is not healthy. Sucrose isn't healthy. They got big dark circles under their eyes. My eyes are very clear. My skin looks the same. Don't have big dark circles because I'm getting enough carbs. I'm not running on stims. You know, and you see these people out there. And I'm not trying to be mean and nasty. I really sincerely want to help these people. And I find it very frustrating. These people are very hard to help because they have this eating disorder and they fear refined sugars. They fear it, man. Go into any Facebook group and say, hey, refined sugar's healthy. Sucrose is healthy. Sucrose is found in fruits, corn, lentils, carrots. Why is sucrose bad when we have it on its own, when it's in these foods and it's totally fine, but when we isolate it, all of a sudden it's bad? Why is that? The protein powder's okay. You know, we isolate leucine and valine and, you know, all these other protein amino acids, and that's okay. It's we sell it as like $100 a kilo or more because it's a special isolate protein blend of BCCA 2-to-1 ratio, 3-to-1 ratio. What's the best ratio of BCAAs? Branched chain amino acids. What's the best ratio? 2-to-1? Is it 3-to-1? Is it 4-to-1? And we have debates and discussions over that. Refined protein powder. Well, it's fine. It's protein powder. It's okay. We have debates over what's the best omega-3 supplement to use. That's refined fat. But as soon as you look up refined sugar, people are like, hey, we got to ban this guy. We got to block him. We got to ban him out of the group. Moderators, this guy's promoting refined sugar. We only promote refined fat here and refined protein powder at $100 a kilo or $300 a litre. You know, Udo's oils, omega-3 excellence, refined, but it's omega-3, but it's refined fat, man. It's a fat extract. When you say refined sugar is healthy and essential, when you go to hospital and they give you a refined sugar drip, that's okay. Otherwise, sugar's bad for you. Anyway, so micronutrients, you can't get enough, ever. But you can, but you don't know if you did. Eat enough fruit. Eat all the fruit you care for. Eat all the carbohydrates you care for. Add all the sugar you care for. Keep your fat intake low. That means your insulin resistance will be super low, which means you'll absorb things better. And you'll have less cortisol, because the higher your cortisol is, the faster you burn through everything. So all that caffeine and stimulants people take, they're burning through more nutrition. That's a fact. How much they're burning through? No one really knows. So you don't ever know you're getting enough micronutrients. No animal in nature does. I would just recommend eating a species-specific diet, which is high carb, low fat. That's going to be vegan, or mostly vegan. For me, it's going to be vegan. I just perform best on that, and I find all the people that train on that perform best on that. And I find when people go exclusive vegan, they perform best because they have less inflammation in their body from the excess fatty acids and amino acids, etc. Acids, extra acids and fat is acidic. Sugar is pH neutral. What about your teeth? Sugar's pH neutral. What about the sports drinks with the acids in them and the